Brexit's biggest, loudest and most obnoxious cheerleader for the past 3 decades, has he found a way to fix Brexit for us, Sophie? Can you take us through it? I assume that Nigel Farage, for it is he, has got some kind of amazing solution as to how it's all going to work brilliantly.
Well, yeah, you would think, since he was the champion of Brexit, founded the Brexit Party, was behind it the whole time. But lots of people have raised different issues around Brexit, but people have almost been a bit scared to say about it, worried about being called a Ramona and stuff like this. But now the architect himself, Nigel Farage, has actually come out and said, Brexit's failed. The headline is not playing on anything. It's actually the words Brexit has failed. That sentence came out of Nigel Farage's mouth. So in an interview in BBC Newsnight this week, he was basically claiming that the Tories have ruined this country by not doing Brexit properly. So still in his idea, Brexit could be done properly, but he's blaming the Tories for not doing it properly. And he basically said that, we're regulating even more than the EU was regulating. We've still got all these rules, and it has failed.
So he's not taking any kind of personal blame for the projects that he demanded for 30 years, which he provoked Tory divisions over, which he caused Tory defections over, which then in turn kind of caused David Cameron to have to call the referendum to deal with all these internal divisions, which Nigel stoked so brilliantly, and those divisions which led in the end to David Cameron resigning, Theresa May trying to find a way through the impossible question of whether or not how you could control the one border we're not legally allowed to control. Then she had a terrible deal, I think I remember Nigel saying, and so she had to resign. And then Boris came in on the back of that because he was going to fix it all. And then he's now got a terrible deal, Nigel says. And it's all presumably, this is as a result of the fact that Nigel then, in this story, he's telling us exactly what sort of deal there should be. He's got some suggestions, has he, as to how he can make Brexit work and ease the cost of living crisis, all the rest of it. He knows how to do that, doesn't he?
Yeah, you would really think that someone who complains about every possible option of Brexit would have a plan themselves. But no, this goes back to the 2016 referendum. It goes back to the campaign. It goes back to the genuine lies that were pushed out with £350 million on the NHS, things that were never going to actually be achievable. And I think that was the thing. From there, we didn't see a plan. We never got to hear exactly what Brexit might look like. But Nigel Farage, as Layla Moran, Lib Dem Foreign Affairs spokesperson, calls him, he's Brexit's biggest cheerleader, and now he's the one who's claiming it's disastrous. And I just think, he has this idea that he is the Brexit man. He founded the Brexit Party. He will be the person to fix it. He has failed 7 times to become an MP. And he even suggested in this interview when Victoria Derbyshire asked him, well, would you maybe consider running again? He said, I wouldn't rule it out. He wouldn't rule it out because somewhere deep down, he thinks, this is Brexit. I am passionate about Brexit and I know exactly how Brexit should be carried out. How? We don't know. All we know is that he must be the leader. He must be the messiah of Brexit, which is,
he must get the attention.
People think what they might want of that, yeah.